Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so very much for tuning in. We have a lot to talk about. Really quickly, I'll just say I don't know if Pelosi and Schumer are going to back down. I have no clue. I do hope that they gain some kind of concession. I do hope they negotiate some kind of deal to help dreamers. I'm a Trump supporter, but I'm not 100% conservative or, very conservative on all issues. Of course, the Second Amendment, I'm very, very conservative on, extremely conservative on. But I would like dreamers to become citizens. I hope that Pelosi and Schumer back down, realize that it only hurts them the longer this goes. I hope that they realize President Obama deported 2.5 million people, that he actually had deported more people. He deported more people at this point in his presidency than even Trump. And I would hope that they could gain some kind of concession from Trump to give Trump his border wall funding. If the wall can keep out trafficking of different types of trafficking, keep the country safe in terms of crime, that's a good thing, very good thing. So there's a case to be made. It's not just what they've done with Tucker Carlson is like, it's childish. Even if you hear something you find offensive, or let's say, you just don't want a wall, but you want a fence, and you're okay with ICE agents obtaining people under Obama. It's come down to almost semantics and sensibilities. President Obama was called by La Raza the deporter in chief. So I hope that Democrats do the right thing. I hope they do the right thing. But we'll see. It's going to be very interesting. This is actually a very, very good thing. By the way, Trump officially legalizes industrial hemp. What's up? Obama didn't legalize industrial hemp. So President Obama legalized the cultivation of industrial hemp Thursday when he signed a widespread bipartisan farm bill aimed at boosting the agriculture industry. The fiber of hemp, a non-intoxicating derivative of the cannabis plant. I think cannabis should be, on a federal level, legal. I mean, how it's a Schedule 1 is like absolutely insane and stupid. It's used to make a variety of products such as cardboards, carpets, clothes. See, like, what do Trump voters want? They want cannabis legal, and they want Americans home from military conflicts. How is that a bad person? How are you a bad person if you want that? There are probably more establishment Democrats who don't want cannabis legal than Trump supporters. Trump supporters generally have a more libertarian streak. So I want to read you this, though. This is really, really interesting. People are becoming aware that Trump is actually a good president. Like, when you leave this kind of matrix mentality, like this, you leave the mentality that, Trump is this monster, and you realize that, he's actually a good president. Donald Trump is a good president. Harper's. So this is Harper's Magazine. Hold on. Sorry, December 22nd, 2018. This is the January 2019 issue. So This is a great article, One Foreigner's Perspective, by Michael uh, Houellebecq, and John Cullen is the translator. He's a French author, filmmaker, poet, and photographer whose last novel, Soumission, was published by Flammarion in 2015. This is really interesting. He goes on and says, but what's most likely, but what's most remarkable about the new American policies is certainly the country's position on trade. And there, Trump has been likely a healthy breath of fresh air. You've really done well to elect a president with origins in what is called a civil society. President Trump tears up treaties and trade agreements when he thinks it was wrong to sign them. He's right about that. Leaders must know how to use the cooling off period and withdraw from bad deals. Okay. Unlike free market liberals who are in their way as fanatical as communists, President Trump doesn't consider global free trade to be the be all end all of human progress. When free trade favors American interests, President Trump is in favor of free trade. In the contrary case, he finds old-fashioned protectionists measures entirely appropriate, which they are. The way the EU and, well, first of all, Canada and China have one thing in common. They impose tariffs on other countries if they feel it's necessary. China a lot more so, but Canada, what, with their dairy. President Trump was elected to safeguard the interests of American workers. He's safeguarding the interests of American workers. During the past 50 years in France, one would have wished to come upon this sort of attitude more often. So there you go. I mean, there you go. With all the turmoil right now in that country, you do have somebody who is taking care of, he's putting American workers first by renegotiating trade deals and implementing tariffs as a negotiating tool, not a long-term strategy. Tariff is not a long-term strategy, as people don't understand. They're like, oh my God, he's implementing tariffs. Well, other countries do as well, and the EU does in the form of regulations. President Trump doesn't like the European Union. He thinks we don't have a lot in common, especially not values. And I call this fortunate because what values? Human rights? Seriously? He'd rather negotiate directly with individual countries. This is good. And I believe this would actually be preferable. I don't think the strength necessarily proceeds from the Union. It's my belief that we in Europe have neither a common language. This is why the European Union is doomed. This is a French guy. It's my belief that we in Europe have neither a common language, nor common values, nor common interests, that in a word, Europe doesn't exist, and that it will never constitute a people or support a possible democracy. See the etymology of the term, simply because it doesn't want to constitute a people. In short, Europe is just a dumb idea that is gradually turned into a bad dream, from which we shall eventually wake up. And in his hope for a United States of Europe, an obvious reference to the United States, Victor Hugo only gave further proof of his grandiloquence and his stupidity. It always does me a bit of good to criticize Victor Hugo. Logically enough, President Trump was pleased about Brexit. Logically enough, so was I. My sole regret was that the British had once again shown themselves to be more courageous than us in the face of empire. The British get on my nerves, but their courage cannot be denied. President, I love this also. Yesterday also, I'm just going to bring this up because he's going to talk about Putin now. There was somebody on my live chat. I have a couple people on my live chat who always challenge me, and in respectful ways. They make me think, and I appreciate them for that. Actually, it's very refreshing to have people who challenge me but are like, you know, cool and civil and respectful, and they're not like trying to be insulting. But this person was like, well, if the uranium deal was so bad, why doesn't he reverse the deal? Because it's, and I was thinking about it. I said, I forgot what my rebuttal, but I was thinking about it. We live in a capitalist society with property rights, and you can't go back in time 9 years or 8 years, a 2010 deal, and tell a Canadian company, oh yeah, by the way, you don't own what you purchased anymore, because that doesn't work. We don't have a mechanism to reverse 8-year-old multinational corporation corporate dealings. So that's one thing, because the guy was like, well, you know, if the Uranium One deal was so bad, why doesn't Trump reverse it? ACOR. Hello, ACOR. Thank you so much. I've been completely swamped lately, ACOR, but thank you so very, very, very much. You are awesome. You are awesome, ACOR. God bless you. Happy holidays. Happy New Year. And thank you for always watching. Thank you for always watching, ACOR. Thank you. Happy holidays to everyone. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Thank you, ACOR. So I want to continue. So this is Vladimir Putin. Got to take this off. Let me just take off my sweater. It's getting hot in here. All right. All right. So President Trump doesn't consider Vladimir Putin an untrustworthy negotiating partner. Neither do I. I love, like, when W. Bush is like, I looked into Putin's eyes. I looked into his soul. And everyone was like, oh, okay. And then President Obama was like, oh, yeah, I'll have more room to negotiate when I win. He said this to Medvedev. And, you know, that was considered appropriate. The 80s want their foreign policy back. I mean, and then you sell at the time 20% of U.S. uranium capacity. Then the liberals are so happy. They're like, it's not 20%. It's a lot less. Oh, that's good. You sold a lot less of American uranium capacity. Well, yeah, Clinton couldn't have vetoed the deal. No, the point is this entire Russian hacking nonsense that the NSA is only moderately confident about is predicated upon the notion that Democrats put fear in the hearts of Russians. Do you think Putin cares about Clinton? No. If he cared, he wouldn't. If he was really frightened, he wouldn't have received the uranium from the United States of America. Rosatom is a Putin company. It's a government state-owned. It's a Russian state-owned company. The Russian government eventually took control of mines within the United States of America. How on earth is he scared and frightened of Obama, who could have vetoed the deal but didn't? That is a fact. And Clinton, who didn't say anything, she didn't protest. Then they're saying, well, she might not have known about the deal. How could she not have known about the deal if Uranium One's CEO gave money to the Clinton Foundation, and the guy who originally started Uranium One is a friend, a mega donor of Bill and Hillary, but she didn't know. Meanwhile, they obsess over a stupid Trump Tower meeting with dirt on Hillary, which isn't even a crime, which actually points to Clinton's crimes. If there's dirt on Hillary, that means her server was hacked. Dummies. So it's like, but they will bend over backwards. There's like 50 Snopes articles, 50 factcheck.org. I mean, it's never ending. It's never ending. I do agree with you. Michael Pace, nationalize American Union. Yeah, I agree with you on that. Itch Conditi! Itch Conditi! Hi, Goodman. Schumer didn't answer this phone today. No voicemail either. Emailed him, advised him you don't speak for the American people. Itch Conditi. Awesome. Awesome. Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, I mean, that is very cool. Unless you're like certain politicians like Adam Schiff, who got punked by two Russian comedians slash journalists. They're like, we want to. We have pictures of Trump, naked ones. Do you like? He's like, yeah, I like that a lot. Alexander M. Gonzalez. Exactly. Hillary Clinton wanted a no-fly zone to combat it, but they don't have planes. That's true. I keep saying that. That's what we're working with Clinton. It's true. Itch Gandhi. Thank you, as always, for your support. Excellent. I mean, it's good to kind of, reach out to your representatives. I don't believe Russia has assigned the role of humankind's universal guide. My admiration for Dostoevsky is the man. Dostoevsky's the man. The Grand Inquisitor is one of my favorites of all time. Dostoevsky doesn't extend that far, but I admire the persistence of orthodoxy in its own lands. I think Rome. Okay. It seemed that President Trump has even managed to tame the North Korean madman. I found this feat positively classy. Of course. He's bringing home Americans from two war-torn countries. What, close to 11,000 Americans. Trump is bringing home 11,000 Americans. You think Clinton would? You think, though Obama didn't, he sent Americans. It seems that President Trump recently declared, you know what I am? I'm a nationalist. Me too. Precisely so. Nationalists can talk to one another. With internationalists, oddly enough, talking doesn't go so well. No, it doesn't. So this man wants France to leave NATO. Charles de Gaulle actually left NATO for a while. But maybe such a step will become pointless if a lack of operational funding causes NATO to disappear on its own. NATO is a Cold War relic. The only point of NATO is to protect Western Europe from an invasion by Soviet bloc nations, then Soviet bloc nations, and the Soviets on land. So it's to protect West Germany, France, the UK from an invasion with tanks and infantry from the Soviets. That's why NATO existed. And they had the Warsaw Pact. You learned this in the 80s as a kid. Why we have NATO now is Obama utilized NATO to destroy Libya, and there's now slave auctions there. So, in summary, President Trump seems to be one of the best American presidents I've ever seen. And then he goes, on a personal level, he's, of course, pretty repulsive. I don't think so. I think he's hilarious. The only thing I say is lay off the ladies. Don't insult the women. That's the only thing I tell Trump. Rumi! Merry Christmas to you and yours. Dear, thank you so much, Rumi Kallis. Thank you, Rumi. Thank you, Rumi. Beautiful name. Beautiful person. Thank you. Thank you, Rumi Kallis, for everything. Great Barrier. Chargers lost. I'm literally shaking. The left has given us so many great cultural quotes. I'm literally shaking. Rumi Kallis, thank you so very much. Merry Christmas. And thank you, Rumi, for always watching. Like I said, it's to my super chat. There are more ads on my videos now. My Patreon, people who give to my Patreon. I'm an independent journalist and writer, and voice on YouTube, alt media voice. This is my job. This is what I do. So to have people, you know, support my voice, that's the only way that I'm speaking to you right now. So, Rumi, thank you. Thank you as always, Rumi. Thank you. Snooch, thank you. Holy carp. Just on my VPN and you almost got this super chat. Snooch, thank you so very, very much. Snooch, thank you. Rumi Callis, thank you. Snooch, thank you. Yeah, I mean, just thank you, everyone. It's going to be a great year. The channel's going to grow, but more importantly, we're going to get some peace. We'll finally get some peace in the brain. Festivus, the festival for the rest of us. Larry Gork. Thank you. Yeah, Snooch and Rumi. It's going to be a good year. So that it's going to be a good year. Because, Oklahoma Taxpayers United. Thank you. Oklahoma Taxpayers United. Thank you so much. Who was I watching recently? Barry Sanders on YouTube. Barry Sanders is Oklahoma State. Yes. Barry Sanders, the man. I have a Barry Sanders rookie. I have a score Barry Sanders rookie card. I love Barry Sanders. Barry Sanders and Bo Jackson are the two best running backs I've ever seen in my life. Oklahoma Taxpayers United, thank you. Snooch, as always, thank you. Rumi Callis, thank you so much, as always. Oklahoma State University, Barry Sanders. He was absolutely, you know who he shared the backfield with? Which is just crazy. Which is just crazy. Okay? I'll give you 1 second. Who did Barry Sanders share a backfield with at Oklahoma State? It's literally the best backfield of all time. Yes. PJ Anderson, 66. Yes. Could you imagine Thurman Thomas and Barry Sanders? I mean, and Barry Sanders I guess at that point wasn't good enough, or, I don't know. You know what I mean? Actually, Thurman Thomas is a funny story about this, because he's like, I think they said, like, yeah, they realized, he said something like they realized they had the wrong person there, or something like that. Roosevelt Media, can we get an impression of Macron? Fitting guns and nothing compared to Thank you, Roosevelt Media. Thank you for everything you do, Roosevelt Media, battling the insane. You want an impression of Macron? I give you one right now. You Americans think you're so smart with your stupid orange Trumpy. Well, Trumpy, I'll get the last laugh. You think that my gilets jaunes give me fits? I tell you what, people still love me. They hate you. They hate you and they love me because I am young and liberal, and all the grannies love me. All the grandmamas love me. The best I got right now, Roosevelt Media. Thank you. Yeah, it's the best I got regarding Little Mac. You think you're so funny calling me little macaroni? I'll get you yet. Oklahoma Taxpayers United, thank you. Snooch, thank you. Rumi, as always, thank you, Rumi. Yep. So there you go. Um, I've been watching a lot of interviews with Deacon Jones. I love Deacon Jones. Love Deacon Jones. Love Deacon Jones. Terry D. Terry D. Merry Christmas, Terry. Thank you so very, very much. Thank you for watching. And just Merry Christmas to you and your family. Greatly, greatly appreciated, Terry. Thank you. Thank you, Terry D. Thank you. Thank you, Terry. Um, in summary, President Trump seems to be one of the best American presidents I've ever seen. This is in Harper's, ladies and gentlemen. Harper's is very much a liberal publication. At a certain point, you know what? It's very, very good that Democrats have the House, because then people are going to be forced to see what Democrats are all about. Wow, Chuck Schumer wrote this. We cracked down on illegal immigration by securing the border and using E-Verify to stop companies from hiring illegal immigrants. It doesn't often work. He uses the term in 2013 illegal immigrants, which is viewed to be extremely, extremely offensive. But, you know, Democrats, when they're not in power, when they are in power. Brad, thank you. Rob589, did you catch the tweet from BuzzFeed after they won defamation and made themselves out to be free speech icon or something? The publishing, you know, I got to find that Rob589. They lucked out. They lucked out. The only reason they won that BuzzFeed lawsuit is because of an ongoing investigation. So that's the only reason they won. This is also the publication that says this yes or no quiz. They write articles. This yes or no quiz will reveal whether you're secretly gross or not. This yes or no quiz. I was always wondering if I was secretly gross. I've had people tell me overtly that I'm very, very much gross. Oh man, gosh. There's a picture of a person sticking her finger in her nose, and then another picture of that same person, I believe, fixing a wedgie. Not joking. Ugh. Mhm. So yeah, I'm trying to find that Rob589. Dennis Richards, thank you. Oh my goodness, yeah. All right, so let's continue. I just, let's see. On a personal level, okay, so goes on to say, You'll export some products, you'll import some others. In the end, this probably won't amount to much, either in trade volume or in foreign exchange. A reduction in global trade is a desirable goal and one that could be reached within a short time frame. Some protest actions could accelerate the process without very much difficulty. They could be limited to goods and property. There's a limited number of sailors aboard any given ship. Okay. Your messianic militarism will completely disappear. That's exactly why I love Trump. The world will only breathe a sigh of relief. There you go. Silicon Valley, and to a lesser degree Hollywood, will have to cope with the appearance of formidable competitors, but Silicon Valley, like Hollywood, will hang on to important sectors of the market. That's Stick, Sex, and Hammer has talks about this a lot. There's a reason why Silicon Valley and Hollywood, especially Hollywood, is so vocal against Trump. And it has to do with competition in terms of ideology. And that competition leads to a loss in revenue. If you can sell, well, he goes on to it. I can go on forever. Alt media, for example, is a huge competitor to the CNNs of the world, which is why alt media is looked at as such a threat. Your messianic militarism will completely disappear. That's exactly why I love Trump. There's a, ladies and gentlemen, there is a, share this segment that I have. I'll give it to you right now. It's the segment where I say I love Trump. And I'll give it to you right now. It's this segment where hold on one second. Dean Diefendorf, thank you. Thank you, Dean. Thank you, Dean Diefendorf, for always watching. Thank you. There's a segment I have where I say I love Trump, best president of my lifetime. Go ahead and share that. Here it is. Go ahead and share that, because, and Eric H526, if you see it, you might have already shared it, but if you do see it, I'm wearing my MAGA hat even. I'm even wearing the MAGA hat. It's at 14,000 views, nothing amazing, but here it is. George Rivera Jr. Okay, I'll admit it. Sometimes I super chat because my wife loves the way you say George Rivera Jr. George Rivera Jr. I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it often. Even when you're not on the chat, I'll be like, my name is H.A. Goodman. George Rivera Jr. It's a super chat. What's up? George Rivera Jr., thank you always for watching. This is great. You know what? We've all been through all of this 2 years together, maybe longer. And I mean, the channel is about 3 years old. In the beginning, I really didn't do much to work on the channel, but we're growing, and I'm definitely not afraid to speak my mind, even though it's annoying to some people. I lost like 600 subs, rightfully telling people that 8chan, that military intelligence officials don't speak through 8chan, and that Q is a dangerous conspiracy theory. But whatever, those 600 will come back. And I just, went after Clinton on the left, and still going after the same Democratic corruption as a Trump supporter. Dennis Richards, I don't partake, but I want it legal. Rumi, thank you. Thank you, Rumi. George Rivera Jr. Merry Christmas to you, your wife, and your family. And Happy holidays. Thank you so very much, George Rivera Jr. Thank you. Terry D. Terry D. Thank you, Terry. Thank you. Rumi. So he ends this. China will scale back its overweening ambitions. This outcome will be the hardest to achieve, but in the end, China will limit its aspirations, and India will do the same. China has never been a global imperialist power, nor has India. Unlike the United States, their military aims are local, which is fantastic. That's what, the United States military should be used only for specific military objectives, and that's it. A quick, decisive victories. This is what Daniel Bulger talked about in his book, Why We Lost. Quick, decisive victories. Their economic aims, it's true, are global. They have some economic revenge to take. They're taking it at the moment, which is indeed a matter of some concern. Donald Trump is quite right not to let himself be pushed around, but in the end, their contentiousness will subside, their growth rate will subside. All this will take place within one human lifetime. You have to get used to the idea we're the American people. In the final analysis, maybe Donald Trump will have been a necessary ordeal for you, and you'll always be welcome as tourists. He's a necessary ordeal for some Americans, but the level of contempt and the hysteria is, I used to, when I was an Obama supporter or a Democrat or whatever, I looked at, like, maybe the further reaches of conservative publications, calling Obama all these, just things that I knew that they were overreaching. But see, it wasn't the mainstream. They wasn't the mainstream. Mainstream media as a whole is doing what certain groups did on certain conservative groups did to Obama, which helped Obama, which ensured that, because he had gone through so much with, what's his name, saying "you lie" in the State of the Union address, to whatever, the ACA might not have been, the ACA, the mandate was, not good, but when they were like talking about death panels and all these, it was too much. What took place was conservatives made too many grandiose claims, used too many superlatives, obsessed too much about President Obama, obsessed way too much. And that was only a small segment of conservative media. This is the government doing this. I mean, this is the entire media doing this with Trump. So they're taking everyone for this like hysteric ride. Rachel, troops coming home for Christmas. Prisoners being released for pot crimes. Yes, best president ever. Merry Christmas. All from a nice Jewish girl. Hello, nice Jewish girl from a nice Jewish guy in H.A. Goodman. Thank you. Thank you for your always watching and your support. Yeah, he is the best president. McFitz. He is the best president. He's the best president of my lifetime. So, and I'll go ahead. But he made fun of, yeah. What did Hillary do? He's a liar. Hillary said she survived Bosnian sniper fire. How do you forget that? How do you forget that? Terry D, thank you. Thank you. How do you forget, like, now that I'm into the Second Amendment, and by the way, beginning this year, I'm going to go full steam on my channel because my YouTube representative said build that channel. So I'm going to. I'm going to do an AR-AK challenge because I have both. It's just going to be a mag dump challenge. Matthew Galter, Thank you, HJ, for having integrity and speaking truth about Q despite the hit and subs. Thank you. Needed to be said. Q people are just mad because you spoke. Q blasphemy. That's true. I told you. I told you what it was like. Matthew, thank you. Roosevelt Media, thank you. I told you what it was like. It was like I knew it was getting to like cult status because like they were like, I'd say one little thing, you know, one little thing. One little tiny thing. And then I would get DMs from people like that I never really talk that I don't talk to, just you know, happen to follow because and then I'm like, been following you for a while. Following you for a while. You're a good man. You're a good person. Lay off Q. Don't say anything more. I'll forget what you said. Water under the bridge. Water under the bridge. Onward, forward. Past is the past. Don't say anything more. Don't say anything more about Q. I'll forgive you. And then I would like ramp it up a little bit because they would like anger me. I would get angered that people would say this to me, even though like I was always so walking on eggshells. I mean, could you imagine how like I felt like, you know, it's probably not the case that, oh, I don't know, 8chan of all places, that they're writing riddles through 8chan? Probably not the case. That was horrible. Thank you, Matthew. And so anyway, then I was like, you know what? The heck with this, man. I'm tired. I don't want to walk on eggshells anymore. Oh, my cha-chingness, I will. I just want to know why Clinton doesn't use Reddit, you know? Like, why is it that, and I say us Trump supporters, like, I'm trying to help people. And people are like, we don't need your help. AJ, you are a Bernie supporter. What do you know about Intel speaking through message boards? Like, you obviously don't know much about life. After all, you were a Bernie supporter. So don't tell me about secret military intel speaking through 8chan and Q and Trump going pee-pee in the snow with a Q, leaving a Q. Paul Wolfie! Ancestors dancing naked around fire naked, silly, staring at the moon rise above the Rockies. Can I keep my shoes on? Happy solstice. Paul Wolfie, happy solstice. Yes. Yes, Paul Wolfie, thank you. Thank you, Paul Wolfie. Thank you. So, yeah. Let's see. I notice also like prison reform. That didn't work. I mean, it did work, but that didn't the prison reform, sorry, obviously was amazing, but for the media, it just didn't work to get them, you know, prison reform and bring home American soldiers. And it's like, my God, you know, any other president would have had, oh my God, he's so heroic. Oh my God, he's so heroic. Trump is, I mean, it would be any other president. He's so heroic and amazing and heroic. It's so great. I think we're in for a long partial shutdown unless we finish the wall. Matt Gaetz. The interesting thing will be how Democrats spin it. Because if they give the money without getting any concession, they'll spin it and people will just be like, okay, we'll vote for you again. Democrats are like, they're ruthless. Paul Wolfie. Paul Wolfie. You can say you have 3 years combat experience and worked on battalion staff getting intelligence briefings, and liberals will still try to tell serious bad. Exactly, Paul. Exactly. Wow. Paul, if God bless you and thank you for all you've done for this country. Yeah, they don't care. Liberals will destroy a person's life for a word, but they'll be like, "Oh yeah, Americans away from their families on Christmas, from their children, from their son, from their daughter, from their wife, from their husband, from their parents, from their friends, from their family. Yeah, no problem. Because it's really important, man." Really? I thought they were part of the JV team, which is what Obama said. But Obama says it, and then it's like, because he's, so revered, he can say anything, do anything. If Trump were to do that, if Trump were to preside over a uranium sale, if Trump were to say he survived Bosnian sniper, if Trump were to say anything the other day, oh yeah, they all look alike, like Hillary said, it would be never-ending chaos and hysteria. Suddenly, these liberals, these people on the left, whose parents probably, protested the Vietnam War or, spoke against it, suddenly they forgot the horrors of counterinsurgency conflicts, the fact that we can't win these conflicts, that nobody can, not just us. Mark Scarborough, thank you, Mark. Thank you. No, that's the opposite. Q watches me. I don't watch Q. It's, obviously the questions are geared from things that I've been working on, stakes. I mean, look, if you followed Paul Sperry, Tom Fitton, John Solomon, Sarah Carter, Kimberly Strassel, and others, then those questions are obvious. Military intel does not speak through a message board. That's ridiculous. There's also no evidence of that. And also, if it was a threat, those people would be arrested in 2 seconds. Also, we have a guy who perpetuated that myth in Corsi, Jerome Corsi. He is now in the Mueller probe. Why doesn't Mueller is not asking him that? Because it doesn't exist. And people say, well, how come Trump didn't say it doesn't exist? He's not going to have a press conference on, the Loch Ness Monster or the Tooth Fairy. You want people to clown Trump supporters even more? It's like, and then the Jim Jeffries thing on Comedy Central. Then my debate where the guy couldn't say certainty. But everyone else is certain, but he's not certain. But he making bank. And then there's, it's like, they can't give Trump credit. Can't give Trump credit. They can't give Trump credit, and they just so petulant. They're just so petulant. North Korea, peace between North and South Korea, bringing home Americans from war. They just hate him so, 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 so much. They hate him so much, and it's like Trump is an anti-war president compared to Obama, definitely compared to Bush. I mean, Obama presided over a an increase in Americans, sending Americans off, more Americans. And that's why I don't say anymore Trump needs to fight back regarding Clinton. Like, I'm willing now, because he did what he did, I'm willing to wait until his second term. I'm willing to wait until his Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Wow. He's going through some health issues. Oh yeah. Then the Washington Post. Oh yeah, Trump's withdrawal puts lives at risk. Oh yeah, right. It's the opposite. The fact we're sending soldiers there puts lives at risk naturally. And then Trump tweeted out the design of the wall, which is hilarious. He's like, "It's also beautiful." I found that hilarious. It's aesthetically pleasing and it works. James Comey. Oh my God. Comey's anti-Trump, pro-Hillary bias doesn't clear from new developments. Why was Russia probe begun? It was begun to set up, which is what I've been saying forever. Forever. Wow, look at that. This is John Yoo. John Yoo was an anti-Trumper for a while. Wow. I love, like, the conservatives, like, who just can't just say, like, they don't want to, like, go out on a limb. Sarah Ann Rapp, tell us about the Gitmo remodel. I don't know. So look it up. Did they, like, was there like a new swimming pool there or something? Check it out. Gitmo remodel. 200 million. That's not good. New construction, 200 million. Nah, I don't like that. I think Gitmo should be closed down. To tell you the truth, it's not. You can't just, if there's a reason to take someone and hold them in your possession, then the reason should be stated. This is international law, and you don't want other countries making their own Gitmo and saying, "Oh, well, you know what? You have 10,000 Americans being brought home." No, I just use oil of Olay on my skin. But thanks for asking. Um, mm, chance, yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to say thank you. Hold on, let's just see. Mystery firm takes smaller link subpoena fight to Supreme Court. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. If the Supreme Court would in 2 seconds hopefully strike this down, there's no evidence of a crime. There's no evidence of a crime. We have no evidence the DNC was even hacked. Then they spin everything. Well, Trump bringing home Americans costs lives. Really? She lives for Jesus. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, AJ. All has come a long way since 2016 election. So glad you're with us now. I'm so glad I'm with you now. I'm so glad I'm a Trump supporter. I'm so glad that I don't have to adhere to. I have friends on the left, and it's never good enough. It's never good enough. You're always viewed as some kind of horrible traitor. She lives for Jesus. Thank you so very much. And it's just really it feels good being a Trump supporter. It does. Terry D, thank you. You'll see more people in the next year once they realize that there is no evidence. And people are always, well, we don't know what Mueller knows. Again, yes, we do. It doesn't. We already know the public record is enough to indict Clinton. The public record not only is not enough to indict Trump, the public record shows that he was set up. So there you go. And I love this. This is great. When President Obama ingloriously fired Jim Mattis, I gave him a second chance. Some thought I shouldn't. I thought I should. Interesting relationship. But I also gave all the resources that he never really had. Allies are very important, but not when they take advantage of the U.S. That is the type of mentality. This is why he's a great president. This is why. Allies are very important, but not when they take advantage of the U.S. That's why he's important. This is why Trump is a great president. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Thank you very much. God bless. To my super chat, thank you again. She lives for Jesus. Thank you, everyone. Ramla Farah, thank you for always watching. Everyone, thank you. I'll see you soon. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have a great year in 2019. It is going to be the best year. Scotty Kilmer, thank you. Brian Stelter, thank you. Brian Stelter, thank you. It's going to be the best year of Trump's presidency. Thank you so very much, everyone. God bless. I will see you soon. Thank you.